Today on BTV News Channel 3, the Benjamin School and the coronavirus. What is being done to keep you safe while on campus?
Plus, we meet a couple of the new faces on the upper school campus as we introduce you to new head of school, Mr. Faust, and drama teacher, Mr. Peck.
And in BTV Sports, how has the coronavirus affected athletics here at Benjamin? We have the answers in Sports with Schwartz.
Hello everyone, and welcome to BTV News. I'm Catherine Civitella.
And I'm Jasper Wright. You give us 15 minutes and we'll give you the latest news that affects you and the Benjamin School.
Plenty to bring you today, including a look at our new drama teacher, Mr. Peck. But first, our top story. Believe it or not, we are almost at the halfway point of the school year. A school year that has been filled with changes, concerns, and uncertainties due to COVID-19. Benjamin was one of the first schools to get back to an on-campus learning, but not without putting all of the necessary precautions in place to keep everyone safe, as BTV's Jack Berman found out.
Due to the current pandemic, the Benjamin School has taken many safety measures in every aspect in order to allow students to return back on campus.
It would be a risk because of, corona and stuff, but the school's done a good job of taking precautions like masks and social distancing. And then the arrows in the hallways, so everybody's going the same way, so everybody's pretty spaced out.
Teachers believe that implementing safety measures on campus, including masks, temperature checks, and social distancing, is enough for students to return back to campus.
Along with the medical directors, got together to come up with our current protocols. So with regards to that, guidelines were set by the CDC, by Palm Beach County, and by our medical directors. And at that time, that's how we enacted those protocols. So on this campus, as you guys already know, we do the temperature check in the mornings, making sure that you self-checked as well with all the regular guideline questions. During the day, you know that you're already with your advisories, you're always with the same group, so that if we needed to contact trace, it makes it a little bit easier. So I think the administration did a really good job. I think some people would say we're doing too much, but I think we're doing exactly what we need to do, once again, following the guidelines that we have. Hopefully they can start lightening up, but the big thing is if you guys take care of yourselves outside of here. That's really the big thing. I mean, we're doing what we need to do here with the proper precautions of cleaning, keeping you socially distanced and so on. You guys just have to do it on your own.
The virus has also had a major effect on the athletic world. Both athletes and coaches are finding ways for sports to continue to be played.
Well, I think we've done a great job with athletics. We started this early in August, making sure that we knew where you guys were all at the same time. We were queuing you up, putting you into different pods. We've still been doing that. We've been doing this for 2 months right now. So the best part about it is you guys have this down. You know exactly what we need to do. Limited people in the locker room, sidelines for football. There's a whole protocol with that. Same thing with volleyball, how we travel from game to game, mask on the bus, social distancing and so on. So athletically, I think we've done pretty well with it. We haven't had any outbreaks, knock on wood. We've had some inconveniences with other teams and so on, but right now I think we've done a great job.
Students and teachers are more than happy to be back on campus and are taking all precautions necessary to stay safe. Reporting for BTV News Channel 3, I'm Jack Berman.
Thank you, Jack. Well, another change that we have all had to get used to is the use of protective face covering, better known as a mask. Benjamin requires everyone on campus to have a mask on at all times except for eating lunch. I had a chance to get your reaction to the safety measure that has been put in place.
With students and faculty returning to campus, the school takes as many precautions as necessary despite interfering with school life.
All haven't realized how much we actually read lips when we're listening. So, ironically, people are a little more attentive. It's a challenge if you're soft-spoken because you have to speak louder through the mask.
One student shares his opinion on returning to school.
In my opinion, the temperature checks don't do that much because, you can have corona before you get a temperature. Other than that, I think, they're taking the necessary precautions, and I think everything they're doing should stay and not really be taken out.
Teachers are also adapting to this new life and are making changes accordingly.
Today, I usually walk around and I look over kids' shoulders as they're doing certain of the math concepts within chemistry to make sure they're doing it right. And I realized that I couldn't walk around and have a look. However, since I found another program, I use Pear Deck a lot, and their kids can enter their information and I can actually see them doing it. So I think you have to find a way around it to alternate rather than sticking with something that you've got to find something else that can replace it. So yeah, I don't think that it's been too detrimental at all.
While the people in class continue to wear masks, both the students and faculty are affected by the change. And whether you are for or against the policies implemented by the school, just know that the Benjamin administration spent a lot of time and effort over the summer to ensure the safety of the students. This has been Jasper Wright reporting for BTV News Channel 3.
Thank you, Jasper, and thank you everyone for adhering to these new policies and helping in the efforts to keep everyone safe and healthy. Leading the way in all these efforts is our new head of school, Mr. Fouts. Under the unusual circumstances surrounding our return to campus during this pandemic, we haven't really had the chance to get to know him. BTV's Lucas Size had the chance to sit down with our new leader to find out what led him to Benjamin.
With the new school year beginning in an unprecedented way, we have with us a new addition to the Benjamin community, our new head of school, Mr. Faust. We interviewed Mr. Faust in November of last year. We follow up with this interview to see how he has adapted and his plans for the upcoming school year, which promises to be a different one from previous years.
What hasn't changed is the essence and mission of the institution. And relationships with peers, student to student, and just as important, relationship with the adults in the community, teachers and coaches and advisors. And that's not changing.
We asked Mr. Faust about his predictions on school spirit moving forward during a COVID era.
Frankly, I think one of the ways to do it is to really be conscious of celebrating one another's accomplishments. And so there are creative ways using the technology that we can all be in the same place.
Yeah.
And we've seen some of that as the school year ended and, over the course of the summer where, with some creative talent and using the technology, we can all be in the same space.
Students comment on Mr. Faust as the new head of school.
Something that I enjoyed about having Mr. Faust is how he's trying to get that connection with everyone. Like the first meeting we had with him, he was just trying to get all our names down. He was trying to get all these different things, and how he's transitioned after Mr. Reed has been almost perfect.
Something that I expect from Mr. Faust is that he puts a large emphasis in making sure that the large number of incoming students feel welcome, and I expect him to make an effort so that the new students are able to transition into Benjamin as easily and smoothly as possible.
It looks like the school is in good hands with Mr. Faust. Reporting for BTV Channel 3 News, I'm Lucas Size.
Thank you, Lucas, and a big, warm welcome to Mr. Faust. Speaking of new faces, we have another one to welcome. The Performing Arts Department had to find a replacement for Mr. Bazar over the summer and seemed to have found the perfect fit to fill the big shoes left behind from the beloved Bays. BTV's Andrew Schwartz introduces us to Mr. Peck.
With the loss of Mr. Bazar, Benjamin has brought in a new theater director. This change brings in a new perspective to Benjamin's theater program.
So this is my 12th year teaching at independent schools. I've worked at a number of independent schools, from Raleigh, North Carolina at St. David's School to the very prestigious Brentwood School in Los Angeles. And for the past 5 years, I spent working at St. Luke's School in New Canaan, Connecticut, where I was the director of theater arts of their program.
He brings a lot of experience. I've seen a lot of the stuff that he has performed in and he's acted in, and he uses that experience to help teach us what it truly means to be a playwright and all the aspects of it. I really enjoy his class.
Changing schools during a pandemic brings many challenges.
From having movers come to our house who were afraid to kind of enter into our house, from my kids who didn't get a proper goodbye to see their friends, from moving and figuring out a way school works when I couldn't really be face-to-face with people.
Mr. Peck has had to adapt to find new ways to put on a school play.
Just blown us away with the way that he has jumped in with both feet and not only filled the shoes of Mr. Bazar, who was obviously so near and dear to all of our hearts, but really gone above and beyond by having, this piece of work set in stone, having this vision right off the bat, and being able to lead really efficiently.
Good luck to Mr. Peck as he continues to improve the drama department, and make sure to go and watch their movie coming out in November. Reporting for BTV News Channel 3, I'm Andrew Schwartz.
Thank you, Andrew, and welcome, Mr. Peck. Well, if the coronavirus wasn't enough to attempt to knock you off your academic game, seniors had another condition to worry about that masks can't help with: senioritis. BTV's Sydney Steinger found out what the class of 2021 is doing to fight off the sudden urge to do nothing.
Although senior year is looking quite different for the class of 2021, cases of senioritis among the senior class is nothing new.
Well, I have no idea what I'm feeling, but I'm feeling something because I do not want to do my work, so I guess that could be senioritis.
With the school year underway, seniors are trying to make the best of coming back to campus amid a pandemic, causing them to miss out on usual senior traditions.
Slightly different note.
Some traditions we missed out on. We've lost 2 football games, including the homecoming football game. We weren't able to have a homecoming dance. Our spirit week was all basically online.
Seniors are finding ways to have fun and make new traditions despite the disadvantages of social distancing.
Well, I'm having the most fun I can in lunch with the friends in our advisory, and there was a virtual homecoming week that we did, so I think that's honestly the most we can do.
Thanks to starting our first 2 weeks of school online, students have reported early cases of senioritis.
The first couple weeks of Zoom, I really didn't want to do my work, so I would definitely say senioritis. Bingo.
Yes, I have to say it's been a growing pandemic here at the Benjamin School, from what I can tell. Symptoms include untucked shirts, lateness to class, and a general unwillingness to sign in and out with Mrs. Donaldson.
If you're experiencing symptoms of senioritis, Benjamin has a plan in place. Go visit Dean Jacobson, who will prescribe you with the perfect cure to get you back on track. Reporting for BTV News Channel 3, I'm Sydney Steinger.
Thank you, Sydney. That is going to take us to a timeout. We are going to step aside for a short break, but plenty more ahead when BTV continues.
That's right, we take to the gridiron and links to find out what athletes are doing or not doing as they prepare for their respective sports. More BTV in a moment.
Ooh yeah, rub in the Clorox. Bleach, 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 rub in the bleach. Yeah, rub in the Clorox. Oh yeah.
Clorox Cleaner plus bleach, killing 99.9% of germs since 1913. Yes, even the coronavirus.
Hey, I'm Dan Marino, Hall of Fame quarterback.
I believe Marino is saying I'm going to spike it.
Marino takes the snap from center. He's looking. He throws. Touchdown, Dolphins, Mark Ingram!
Yes! I know you like that call.
BTV Sports is coming up next.
Hello everyone, welcome to BTV Sport, also known as Sports with Schwartz. I'm Andrew Schwartz, bringing you everything that is Benjamin Athletics. Well, most of the fall sports season has seen a share of modifications and cancellations as the coronavirus has left nothing spared. Teams found themselves struggling to prepare for their seasons as the pandemic altered their usual preseason workouts, as Lucas Kotranakis found out.
Sports teams throughout Benjamin have varied in the amount of summer work they were able to put in, and that has affected their season. A football player speaks about how his workouts have changed.
COVID has affected my workouts because we have to work out in small groups and we have to be socially distanced, so it's kind of like a struggle to do our workouts and be cautious.
A football player talks about how the team workouts have changed throughout the summer.
Once we finally got outside, we still had to be socially distanced from everyone else on the team. They were at least 30, 40 yards apart. Split up into groups, and we had to wear masks the entire time until we got to the workout. It really helped us adapt to the COVID protocols for the season.
A soccer player talks about their conditioning for the season.
It kind of affected us for the start of the season.
because we weren't as fit as we wanted to be. Over the course of the summer, we usually get a lot of work done, so by not having summer workouts, it affects our whole season from the start to finish.
Having no summer workouts has affected all athletes. Good luck to all Benjamin sports teams as they prepare for their seasons. Reporting for BTV News Channel 3, I'm Lucas Kotranakis.
Thank you, Lucas. Well, it is not just the preseason preps that COVID-19 has affected for our fellow athletes, but also the season itself. BTV's Catherine Civitello found out the practices and even games have felt the impact of the virus.
As the world knows, COVID has had a large effect on athletes everywhere. The Benjamin School's athletes and athletic administrators have done their best to minimize effects and keep sports going.
Practices are still full swing, pretty normal. Still practice full pads, hit each other. We're allowed to do all that, so it's a good thing we're able to be out here at all, really, under the circumstances.
Golf is one of the few sports where COVID should have had a minimal effect, but it's not necessarily all about the sport alone, but rather scheduling.
So because of COVID, we've had significantly fewer practices as well as matches. We've only had pretty much one tournament when usually we have around 5 or 6. There are also a significant decrease in the number of girls we had on the team. Unfortunately, Kylie and Skylar Malmberg couldn't play with us, so we were limited, but fortunately Skylar Ladd came up to the plate, so we were able to compete.
COVID has not only affected the practices and games of our athletics, but some students believe it has had other effects as well.
We've lost 2 big games, Cardinal Newman and Calvary Christian, which has really set us behind this season, and it's really hurt us players individually for recruiting and for other things along the line of their collegiate careers.
Despite the fluctuations during the fall sports seasons, the teams continue to show up and show out during our athletic events. Reporting for BTV News Channel 3, I'm Catherine Civitello.
Thank you, Catherine, and thank you to all the fall athletes for enduring the rigors the pandemic has put upon you and your sport. A reminder, the Benjamin football team is home tomorrow night in a must-win playoff game against Westminster Christian. Kickoff is scheduled for 7:30. Only a limited number of fans will be allowed in. You must have a ticket. If you don't have one, you're in luck. The game will be live streamed by BTV. You can find the link on the Benjamin School webpage under Athletics. That is a look at BTV Sports. Back over to you, Jasper and Catherine.
Thank you, Andrew. That is going to wrap up this episode of BTV. We thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here in a few weeks.
For Jasper Wright, Andrew Schwartz, and the entire BTV News team, I'm Catherine Civitello, leaving you with a look back at Spirit Week. See you soon, Benjamin!